Can you travel by plane while your marriage green card is still pending? A lot of you are scared to fly domestically right now, and you are asking me this question every single day. So let me give you the honest answer as an immigration attorney. It is not the same answer for everyone, but by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly which situation you are in. I'm Orelmy Diaz, I'm an immigration attorney, and I help spouses of U.S. citizens apply for their green card without fear so they can build their future here in the United States. I went through the immigration process myself, so I know exactly what getting legal status in the United States means for your life and for your future, because I have been there. So here is the first thing you need to understand, because everything else rests on it. A pending case, a pending adjustment of status, or a pending I-485 is not the same as having your green card. You need to understand that. When your I-485 is pending, it means you ask to become a permanent resident. USCIS has your application and they have not decided yet. It doesn't mean the answer is yes. And until you have the green card in your hands, you don't have legal status in the United States. You need to really understand that. I'm not saying this because I want to scare you. I am saying it because you cannot make a smart decision about traveling by plane right now until you are honest about where your case really stands. Now, let me tell you what is actually going on, because you deserve to know what's happening. There is a signed agreement between the TSA and ICE. And let me tell you who those two are, okay? So the TSA is the Transportation Security Administration. And that is the agency that you already know, the one that checks your ID and your bag at the airport security. And ICE, you already know, is the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. That's the Immigration Enforcement Agency. Both of these agencies are part of the same department, the Department of Homeland Security. How do we know about this agreement? Well, there is a group called American Oversight, and they filed a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit, which is a lawsuit that forced the government to hand over its records, and that is how they got the actual agreement and made it public. In simple words, the TSA agreed to share passengers' information with ICE. That is real and that is in writing. I'm putting the link for the agreement right here in the description so you can read it yourself. And here is what is happening right now. There are reports of people being detained at airports, even people who only have an overstay. So you need to know that for a long time, if you were inside the United States, flying from one city to the other was usually not a problem. But it seems that now it can be, so you need to be careful. And the truth is that we don't really know the details of those individual cases. We don't know why these people specifically were detained. But it's obvious that traveling by plane right now, if you are undocumented, if you are out of status, is risky. What does this mean for you? Well, it depends. It depends on your history. Know your friend's history, know what you saw online, yours. Let me make it simple and let me explain the words as we go, because these are words people hear all the time and are never told what they mean, okay? So if you came to the United States legally, and by that I mean you were inspected, an officer looked at your documents, check you in and let you in the United States, and you still have legal status today, and you never overstay, and by overstay I mean you stay past the date the government gave you permission to stay, and you have nothing else difficult in your past, no arrest, no deportation or removal order, no prior immigration violations, then for a flight inside the United States, you are generally in a much safer position. You still have to travel prepared, and I will show you how in a minute, but you are not the person who needs to worry about the tensions at the airport. But if any of this apply to you, listen closely. If you enter the United States without being inspected, meaning you cross the border without going through an officer. If you overstay, meaning you came in legally but stay past the time you were allowed. if you have any arrest in your past, if you have a removal or deportation order, even one from years ago that you almost forgot about, if you have any prior immigration violation of any kind, then flying is not a simple question for you, and you need to be careful. You need to talk to an immigration attorney before you do anything. Before you go to the airport, no after. Because here is the truth. Two people can take the same flight, sit in the same row, and be in completely different situations under the law. That is why nobody can honestly give you one answer for everyone. It really depends on what is behind you. So what do you actually do with this? Well, if you have anything complicated in your history and you know in your heart what I mean, don't decide this from a video. Don't make a decision about traveling by plane from this video, okay? Sit down with an immigration attorney who can look at your record, at your history before you ever buy that ticket. The whole reason you are doing your marriage green card case is to protect your future. This is not the moment to guess. And if your history is clean and you still have your status, here is how you travel prepared. Carry your passport and your immigration documents, your I-94, which is your arrival record that shows you were admitted. Also your work permit, if your pending case gave you one, and keep your immigration attorney's contact information safe in your phone and also written on a paper. So if anything happens at the airport, you can reach someone right away. I know this is difficult and I know it is frustrating and scary, but this will not last forever. You need to understand this is temporary. Right now, the goal is simple. Keep you safe and keep your case moving forward. Because the whole reason you are doing this, you are applying for your green card, is so that you can leave all this fear behind you and you can travel freely and build the life you came here for. There is a still light at the end of all of this, okay? So what is the next step for you? Well, if your history has anything complicated in it, enter without authorization, overstay the visa, removal orders, anything that makes you worry, you have to speak with an immigration attorney before you make any travel plans. You need to speak with a professional that can actually look at your history and determine if it's safe for you to travel or not. If you want to speak with me about your situation, the link to book a consultation with me is in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Stay safe.